years you played a humiliating game. You spent tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars on diamond necklaces and jewelry you didn't want, all for the privilege of begging a salesman to sell you a stainless steel Rolex. That entire system, that entire game is now officially over. Rolex just killed it. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how they did it and what the new, even more ruthless rules are. If you want to stay ahead of the luxury market, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Opulent Oasis, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.
Alright guys, well, buckle up because today we're going to be reacting to not just another steel flex. These watches are basically the grenade Rolex lobbed into the luxury market and walked away from like an action hero. The creator that we're watching, Opulent Oasis, breaks down the wild new rules of Rolex ownership, how they blew up the humiliating buy jewelry you don't even want system, and replaced it with something way more calculated, way more ruthless, and honestly kind of brilliant. Here's the twist. While he gives you the full breakdown of Rolex's power move, I'm essentially jumping in with the real world pros and cons you actually feel when you're wearing it. So before we dive in, smash that like button, hit subscribe to Chronosapien, and ring the bell because this reaction is about to expose the parts nobody wants to admit. Let's roll.
For the better part of a decade, buying a Rolex wasn't a transaction. It was a bizarre courtship. The system was called purchase history. This wasn't just a record of your spending, it was a measure of your loyalty to a local third-party jewelry store, also known as an authorized dealer, or AD. These ADS became all-powerful gatekeepers, because while Rolex makes watches, the ADS make their real money on high-margin jewelry. They use the insane demand for a steel submariner as leverage to force you to buy the things they actually profit from. To even be considered for a top-tier watch like a steel Daytona, you needed VIP status, which often meant a purchase history of over $100,000. The experience became demeaning and frustrating, and that negative feeling started to tarnish Rolex itself. Rolex knew this was a vulnerability they had to fix. Their first move was a calculated attack on the secondary market. In late 2022, Rolex launched its Certified Pre-Owned Program, or CPO. This was their official entry into the world of used watches, a space they had always ignored. Under the program, any Rolex at least 2 or 3 years old can be sent back to the factory, completely disassembled, authenticated, serviced, and then sold with a brand new 2-year international guarantee directly from Rolex.
Hold up. Quick pause right here. This is the exact part that people don't understand. When Rolex rolled out that CPO program and started charging massive premiums, it wasn't just about trust or peace of mind. It was a controlled funnel and their new way of deciding who deserves what watch. And if you've ever tried to get a steel Daytona without selling your soul, you already know this hits different. Okay, back to the video.
On the surface, this was about offering buyers peace of mind. But the real strategy was far more brilliant and cynical. Rolex didn't set the prices for these CPO watches, the retailers did. And consistently, these official pre-owned watches sell for a massive premium over the exact same watch on the grey market. We're talking an average of 25 to 30% more. For a GMT Master 2, Batman, the premium was nearly 48%. For a steel Daytona, it was over 40%. Rolex wasn't competing on price, it was competing on trust. And in doing so, it created a brand new, Rolex-controlled form of purchase history. Why spend $100,000 on jewelry at an independent store when you can now prove your loyalty directly to Rolex by paying a 40% premium for one of their own CPO products? This was the new official way to pay to play, with all the money going straight into the Rolex ecosystem. If the CPO program was the opening move, the acquisition of Bucherer was the checkmate. On August 24, 2023, Rolex announced it was buying its oldest and largest retail partner. The official reason was to ensure continuity, since the 87-year-old owner had no heirs. But the strategic value is breathtaking. This move marked Rolex's definitive entry into selling directly to the consumer, giving them total control over the customer experience. It also means they now capture the entire retailer margin, an average of 35% on every single watch sold through Bucherer's massive global network. But the real prize, the ultimate weapon, is the data. By owning one of the world's largest luxury watch retailers, Rolex now has a direct, real-time fire hose of information on its biggest competitors. They can see exactly which Omega, Cartier, and Breitling models are selling, to who and where. They own the customer wish lists and purchase histories. This is a game-changing advantage that allows them to fine-tune their own strategy and crush their rivals with unparalleled market intelligence. When you put these two strategies together, the CPO program and the Bucherer acquisition, the conclusion is inescapable. The old system is dead. Your six-figure spending history on diamonds at a family-owned jeweler is now strategically irrelevant to Rolex. They have created their own closed-loop system. The only history that matters now is your history with Rolex itself, tracked in their own stores, through their own systems. The game hasn't gotten fairer, it has simply been taken over by its creator. Remember, all market speculation is for informational purposes only, and is not financial advice. So let's quickly recap. First, Rolex deliberately made your old purchase history at independent dealers worthless by creating its own more powerful paths to getting a watch. Second, the certified pre-owned program is a new pay-to-play system where you pay a huge premium directly within the Rolex ecosystem to prove your loyalty. And third, by acquiring Bucherer, Rolex has taken direct control of its sales, its brand experience, and now owns a treasure trove of competitor data. Now that the old game is dead, which new path to a Rolex would you take? Paying the massive premium for a CPO watch to get immediate access?
Well, there it is, folks. Rolex didn't just break the game and tweak it a little bit. They nuked it from orbit and rebuilt it in their own image. And whether you think this CPO ecosystem is genius or straight up villain energy, one thing's undeniable. The watch still delivers, and the strategy behind it makes every piece feel like a power play on your wrist. So if you're watching this thinking, am I buying the watch or am I buying into the system? The answer is yes. That's the Rolex effect. And honestly, that's why it slaps. If you got value out of this breakdown and reaction, please hit that like button, drop your thoughts below in the comments. And are you team CPO premium or team start from zero? And make sure you subscribe because we've got way more heat coming. Thank you for watching. This is Chrono Sapien. Peace out.